Alright, so we move on to June 21 and the energy report for that. Now the month of June is all about feeling the love, and yet actually you may not be feeling love. You may be finding that things are irritating you and that you want to relax and that you want to switch off and you want to be feeling peaceful and joyful and happy, yet outside distractions seem to be niggling or causing issues. So it's going to be a time of issues. You're going to see things that you thought you'd put to bed are going to say, hang on a minute, I haven't quite finished with you yet. So if you've listened to the May 21 energy report, you'll probably recognize that what you've been doing is you've been creating this expansion and this space and this letting go, and now June is actually showing you that really all you've got to do, and it is really simple, is to love yourself. There is an opportunity for love to be abounding. It's in abundance, and yet it's going to, what I pick up is it's going to, these outer things are going to say, well, how much do you love yourself? Are you willing to let go of that person, that friend, that situation, that work that is tough and boring and you don't want to do it anymore? How much more can you take? So it's going to be a bit of a testing time in the sense that it's really going to push your buttons. It's going to say, what do you know what you want, so why are you hanging on? So listen to the May report if you haven't already, because it will just clarify the shifts that you're going through more from a spiritual point of view, and then June is about now what you're going to do about it. So it's reminding yourself, isn't it, of where you're actually, what your intention was, where you're going with this. Why is it that you want to let go of a job that you don't want to do anymore? Maybe you can't just walk away from it, but it's just giving yourself that permission to surrender the need to hang on to it. So it isn't about, making big drastic changes. It's all about the inner. It's saying, well, it's not about what you're going to do about it or how you're going to do it. It's like, are you willing to let go? And all you've got to do is meet it halfway and go, well, I am. And then the changes can come to you, which I feel will come later in June and into July. So when I do the next month's energy report and put it out there, it will be easy for you to be able to navigate the way, because you'll start to see the results in July. But going back to June, so there's so much love, but it's love of self. It's loving self, to me, equals surrender. If you're hanging on to, let's suppose it's you're avoiding something. So you're avoiding going to the dentist because you think you can't afford it. Let's take that as a really basic example. And what happens is that there is a niggle with your tooth, and anyway you leave it, and of course the problem escalates, and when you get to the dentist, instead of just having a small filling, you basically need a whole root canal or whatever it is, and it's a lot of money and a lot of work. So it's a month not to avoid anything, and again, particularly not avoiding how you feel about things. It's just honouring it. It's just looking at stuff and saying, well, I'm not really happy with my job and I do want it to change. I can't leave it right now, but I'm willing to let go of it. I'm willing to say to the universe, to my divine self, my soul self, I'm willing to surrender. So show me the way. And I love that when you say show me the way, because what happens is we see the light. And I know, to coin that phrase, I see the light. It's true, because what happens is it's through the light that the changes come in. They're the universe. It's the universal light of your divine self, of the God, the source self. So it flows in and through you, and then it's then that the manifestation takes place through the connection or through the acknowledgement of the light. So yeah, it's like, just be aware of your part in this. So there's a divine self that you can't physically see. It's not tangible. yet it exists and it's working for you and it's working things out for you and it's coming to you with what you've asked for. And in this case, it might be that you've, surrendered to, I don't want to do this work anymore, I want to work for myself, but you don't know what it is. Well, it will bring this light, this divine self will bring you what it is that you want. You don't need to work it out. So it's being easy on yourself, loving yourself, letting that love of the divine self bring to you what you've been asking for. And it will do that best if you, apart from obviously give them permission to just let go and just be and see what unfolds without trying to manipulate it or change it or deny it or avoid it. And just let it bring to you what it wants to. And how you do that, the easiest way is to relax. Just say, everything's working out for me, I've got this. Listen to inspirational tapes, or what do I mean by tapes? I mean I meant recordings. Tapes, that's really old school. Recordings. Or, there's so much online these days, but people that really lift your energy, that when it lifts it, because you feel good when you come away. If it doesn't, it's perhaps not your thing, because there is some, different, there's the right thing for you and there's the right thing for someone else. Doesn't mean it's the same thing. So grounding yourself also in June is going to be great. Getting out in nature, really enjoying being outside, don't matter which hemisphere you are in the world. It's just getting out there, breathing in that energy, and each step you take, just declaring that I am open and willing to let go, and I am willing to receive all that my divine self has already got stacked up for me, because it's a very abundant time. May is abundant, June is really abundant, and it's just not getting those cross wires where you're falling out with people. It's just seeing it for what it is. This is how I am, this is how I feel. It's not about anyone else. So I think it's really getting my life, I create it, this is how I do it, and I'm just being aware of what's happening without having major reactions or causing more stress or worry for myself. You also might find that because there's this big massive kind of transformational change that's going on, you may notice it in other people. So they might be saying, there'd be a lot of, oh my God, this happened in my world, a lot of perhaps trauma, disruption. And you'll see, because when the old changes, of course, when we're asking for the old, what happens is the reflection outside as we start to see that change for other people. So that's always a sign of things breaking down outside, means it's breaking down in your reality. But you don't have to react to it, you just have to notice that this is part of a process, and that if you can just observe it all, once something's cleared out of the way, it's like, if you're going to demolish an old house and then build a new one, you really got to get the bulldozers in and let all the crap fall apart and bring everything down and get rid of it. And then, you've asked for the new house, you've designed it, you've got the architect, you've ordered the products, and then the workers are ready and they come in, they build a new house. So it's no different with your life. It's just getting really clear about not even knowing what you want, just being aware of what you don't want and just being willing to surrender. So this is good stuff. It's going to be go in nature, walk your pet, play with the children, do the everyday stuff, bake some cakes, anything that kind of makes you feel good. Really important, anything that makes you feel good. And if it doesn't, just observe it, not react to it, it's just observing it, because say there's going to be a lot of fear around, or problems potentially. And remember, all it is just clearing. Think of it like the house, clearing, knocking down the old house. It can't be repaired, it's finished with, it's done. There's no point, it costs too much money and it's just too much hassle to try and update it. It's got to go, it's gone beyond the point of repair. And then, know that that's all that's happening. So what a very interesting, exciting month June's going to be. Or it can be really frightening and really scary if that's what you want it to be. So choice is always yours. But these things that I'm sharing here make it much easier and smoother should you wish to choose that path. So I'm Jessica Woods, and I'm leaving you with the June energy report, and I will speak to you all and see you all again soon.